Welcome back. This is Magic the Gathering Online Legacy Review, Rock versus Affinity, Round 4, Game 2. Again, another hand. This hand is fine. We are on the play, so we actually get the ability to go first turn stuff, second turn, and then we have an active field. What we do get also is we have included the Eternal Witness, which means we have double green, and we have no Lilianas in the list. So we have all of the colors that we need. We have creatures that are actually effectively sized. Bob can kill anything in Affinity, barring Master and Champion. Champion being the bigger threat because it has protection from colors, which hurts a lot. Goyf being able to block anything and outside of Ravager or Cranial Plating or Master survive it. We have a Wasteland, so if they are a little mana screwed, we can take advantage of that. Something that throughout the game we do not do, but so be it. I mean, we have options here. We have a Jit which interacts with his deck in a very great way. We definitely, this hand plays for it. It's not an out hand. It's slower, but it's not an out. Here we are at our very first misplay. Starting off with, why are we going to play the Savannah? If you look at our opponent, they have 4 cards in hand, which would mean a 5. They have an Opal, which requires Metalcraft, which is 1, 2, 3 things in order to be active. And they have a Blink Moth Nexus. So, we didn't actually need to do this. What we should have done is wastelanded our opponent, sorted the Pest. They have no damage on the board. They're back to 2 lands, or 0 lands, 2 artifacts. An artifact land gives them 2. Any non-basic land that they don't play a spell off of only gives them 1. From there, we get to play our Goyf, and then they can start doing stuff, but not until. So the real question is, why not? Why do things in an order that's not necessary? Other options included just sorting the Pest, which I think is the option that we end up. No, I think we play the Bob. But there's no need. Also, should have fetched the Bayou. We need green mana. We know that we need green mana. The more green mana that we have, the better off we are. And Bob being the only black card that we have in hand, not that big of a deal then. So our opponent ends up actually being able to capitalize on that. And we put ourselves back pretty far. The Etched Champion being the worst thing that we could see. Had we actually, he would have needed, our opponent wouldn't have been able to actually play the Champion this turn. It could have been a Ravager, it could have been anything else, but it could not have been the Champion. Interesting thing though, Ravager and Metalcraft, not the best of friends, just throwing that out there. I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead a couple seconds and we'll be right back. Alright, we are back. We are at the 1 minute 45 second mark. First thing to notice, we're trying to recover out what we were doing before. Or more so, should I say, we're trying to fix a problem that we ourselves created. This playing Bojuka Bog, entirely wrong. It should have been the Arbor. Our plan should have simply been swing with Bob, play sword. If he blocks with Champion, swords the Pest, dismember the Ornithopter, trade Bob for Etched Champion. That puts our opponent at having 1 artifact, which means he's down to 2 lands. Because of the way that we decided to do things, 1, we decided not to swing with Bob first. It means that our opponent is at 2 more life. Our opponent also, because of the way we did things, has an additional 2 damage on the field and an additional mana. Would I expect my opponent to block here? No. But nonetheless, I should have allowed it to at least happen. Also should have gone for the Arbor. Arbor is another creature. It is a green source. I mean, there are a ton of things that Arbor is that Bob and Goyf and Bog are not. Mainly mana. And in this case, Guy. But swinging with Bob was the right choice. Get the damage in. Bob can't effectively block any of these guys anyway right now. Pseudo-flying, real flying, protection. What does Bob do? Even these guys, both fly. If he plays another land and swung with everything, 2, 4, 5, plus 3 is 8, down to 10. Like it's not a lot, but it's a lot more threatening than what I have going on. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit more. Here we are again at 3 minutes 9 seconds in, and we do it again. Why isn't Bob staying back? Or why did Bob stay back? There's no good reason to have Bob stayed back. There's none at all. Easily, we could have just sent Bob. So that's 4 life that our opponent has gained. Luckily, we do have counters on Jit now, so we can beat this. We want to save it until next turn, but we don't get the option to wait as long as we want. Pithing Needle, what I made the remark that you can't let it come into play or you lose the game. It turns out that was true. Between my misplays and that Pithing Needle, we lost the game. But it's when Pithing Needle comes into play, when you allow it to resolve, when you've passed priority and the spell is coming into play, they pick a card. You have no opportunity in there to react. So if you want to do something, before you pass and let that needle be good, you kill whatever you need to kill. You do whatever you need to do. Otherwise, you're going to be sitting there looking at it like, why can't I do this? And that's why. It's because while the needle is coming to play, it names a card. There's no time between while it's coming into play and it being in play, in the card naming process, that you get a chance to do anything other than watch things trigger. I mean, if they say a card that names a card and it triggers when you name a card, then yeah, that'll go. But yeah, that's a lot of cards. But for the most part, like there's no point to interact there. Do it before your needle goes off. Bob should have swung. Our opponents gained 4 life just from us misplaying. We also don't have double green yet because now we can't play this arbor without being back a turn. When we played the bog, that was no matter what we did outside of if we decided to kill one thing, in which case there was no way we were killing just one thing. We were either hitting both of these and taking that with the Bob, or we were going to play the Goyf. So 2 mana. This was free. Its come into play effect negligible. So yeah, I'm going to pause it and skip ahead a little. Alright, here we are again, 4 minute 10 second mark. What we're opting to do here, what we have available to us. Our opponent is a Steel Overseer. We still have our 2 removal spells, which I think should have been well taken care of. I mean, it would have left him with a Steel Overseer at this point. Our opponent still hasn't played anything else. There's a Cranial Plating. We have 2 creatures that we can't effectively block. But this Steel Overseer, even with this plating, isn't going to be able to do much. There's no way for us to turn off this Opal now, barring a Deed or a Pulse included in this, but we've already gotten our cards for turn. So the optimal play at this point would have been Wasteland, Wasteland, waste both of these, kill both of these, swing with Bob or Goyf, one or the other. That would have left us 1 land up, so we can take 2 off the Dismember instead of the full 4, leaving us at 6. Next turn after that, we can fetch the Batterskull, get that out of the deck, and hopefully not be dead. And I say hopefully because Bob could easily flip 3/3. The good news is that Dismembers went in for Liliana, so that didn't alter the 3 cost. And I believe that we went down in converted mana cost from there. I don't remember everything that came in. So we end up doing this entirely wrong. First mistake right there. The reason we did that is because we were pretty set on the Stoneforge. Yeah, it was a bad call. Also, we kill these 2 because we can't block them. Killing this, why did we kill that? If he activates one of these, he needs another land in order to be able to equip it. Well, no, he doesn't. He activates, he equips, he swings. So what we could have actually done was just hit the Pest, take out whichever, or wait, these would have been wasted. Yeah, whatever. I'm completely off right now. We could have wasted the one that he goes after. We could have taken out both of those. That leaves him the ability to equip to either the Overseer and come in or not, or the ability to activate and swing, still needing a land in order to be able to equip if we waste it. So we did that to ourselves. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead a little bit. Here we are back again at 5 minutes 35 seconds, and I have the best question in the world. Wait for it. Why did we fetch a basic? Just honest question. Why did we fetch a basic? Because we fetched that basic, we basically put ourselves in a position that we now need the green source. If we when we hit this witness on this turn, we now need the green source. That basic didn't accomplish a thing other than allowing us to other than allowing us to play the Batterskull. A non-basic would have done that. Even if he played a Blood Moon randomly, a non-basic would have done that. I don't know how he would have played Blood Moon. Please don't ask. I don't know. He had already tapped down. We did this. We put ourselves into a position where the situation is and sits at, we are planning to lose this game. We are trying. We are doing our best to lose this game as fast as possible. Options here were actually pointed out by the user who pointed out the previous options that we had as far as leaving up the Wasteland in the game against Dredge. What the user pointed out, and it's again A.E. Aguria. I apologize, I don't know exactly how to pronounce your name, but I'll give it a shot. I can say your real name because I know who you are, but I don't think I want to do that. I haven't even given my real name, although if you really, really look, you can find me. What the user said was to play the Windswept Heath, fetch, go down to 1, getting a green land, play the Eternal Witness, sorting, what was it, swords, and I'll probably post the comment in an annotation or something, swordsing the creature that he equips to, and wasting the flyer that he swings with. That allows us to be able to block the Ravager, which would be the only thing on the ground, and survive at 1, hopefully flipping a land next turn, but there'd be no way to guarantee that. And I don't believe that I draw a card in order to find out, but that's definitely the play here. That is the only line out of all of the misplays that we have given ourselves. If we drew land Pulse and land Flip to Bob the next turn, that goes away. If we drew land Zenith, that goes away. Land Pride Mage, that goes away. This JIT with multiple counters on it goes active. We're no longer in danger. We'd have to flip double land because we can actually we could play the Knight and the Wasteland, and the Batterskull and the Wasteland next turn to be able to take out the 2 flyers, which should have been gone already. The Ornithopter that should have been gone, possibly gone already. The Ravager, which is fine sitting on the field. We can block a Ravager. Like, we did this, we lost this game and the previous game based on our decisions. And that's how most of these games are. All of the tools are at your disposal. It's a matter of figuring out how to play it and how to play it effectively. And in this case, I did not. Instead, I scoop at this point.